and they had 13 lessons to do. As Victorian uniform, they wore blue blouses over a pinafore, and girls' uniform were made out of blouses.
Transport. In Victorian times, people travelled by road. Most people would often travel on a horse, in a cart, or walk. No cars or airplanes existed in Victorian times. Different types of carriages. The rich people could afford to buy their own horse-drawn carriages. There were different types of carriages. The broom was a popular vehicle for everyday use because it was light. It was four-wheeled, then it was drawn by one horse. The phaeton was a four-wheeled carriage. It was light and most ladies used it for walks in the park. The phaeton is named after the son of the Greek sun god who was famous for his bad driving.
In Victorian times, the children were allowed to invent. There was a lot of good inventions. Some we still use. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone in Victorian times. He was a very famous inventor. Wheaton, the inventor of the stereoscopic image. He was famous, but not famous, like everyone in town knows him. John Lloyd Dunlop. He was an inventor. He invented the rubber company Dunlop, the pneumatic bikes. The Victorian teachers taught children well. The poor went to ragged schools while rich children learnt at home. The schools taught the 3 R's, which were reading, writing and arithmetic. Boys and girls learnt different things. Boys learnt engineering and drawing, while girls learnt cooking and sewing. They learnt geography and history and singing once a week. Children were often scared of their teachers because they were very strict. Children as young as 13 helped the teachers to control the class. They received certificates which helped them qualify as teachers when they were older.
The wages of a farm worker were very low and there were less jobs working on farms. Because of the inventions and use of the new machines such as threshers, also thousands of new workers were needed. To work machines in mills and foundries, the workers' houses were usually near to the factories so that people could walk to work. They were built really quickly and cheaply. The houses were cheap. Most had between 2-4 rooms, 1 or 2 rooms downstairs and 1 or 2 rooms upstairs. Chimneys, bridges and factory smoke blocked out most of the light in the towns. A layer of dirty smoke often covered the streets like a blanket. This came from the factories that used steam to power their machines. The steam was made by burning coal to heat water. Burning coal produced a lot of dirty black smoke.
In the Victorian times, had jobs at a very young age. Children worked for their own money. In the 80s, lucky children could speak on telephone, and in the 1890s, they could travel by motorcars. Life was not the same for all children during the Victorian times. The kind of a life a child had in the Victorian times depended on its family. Children's jobs were sweeping the chimneys and working at a big house and serving food for the master of the house. And there are lots more jobs than 2 jobs. If you were a child from a Victorian family at the beginning of the Victorian times, you will work and worked and worked.
Life was not the same for all children during the Victorian times. The kind of life a child had in the Victorian times depended on its family. Today, even children in Britain has the right to a free children from poor families had free fees had poor food, worked long hours, lived in damp. Many children died of disease. Children from rich families, usually well fed, clean and well clothed, didn't need to work, went on holidays.
Before 1834, poor people were looked after by buying food and clothing from money collected from landowners and other wealthy people. What were workhouses? Workhouses were where poor people who had no job or home lived. They earned their keys by doing jobs in the workhouses. They provided food, a place to live, a place to work, and a place to work and earn money, free medication, clothes, free education, and training for a job. This how workhouses was like.